Hey team, this is George. I'm looking forward to getting together with everyone and going through all the passport submissions and everything. Now, this course is a little bit different. If you had me as an instructor before, it's a little bit different in terms of the interactions that we have. This is really a very, what I actually call it a binary course. You're going to be turning stuff in, and then it's like accept or reject. I've never rejected one fully outright. It's rejected, and then I'll let you know why and what needs to be adjusted. Because this course, what we want to do is make sure that you're submitting stuff that you want anyone to see, something you can be proud of. And that's why there's so many eyes on it, because sometimes, myself included, we're working on our stuff so diligently that we get hyper focused have rather than being able to zoom out and see all the other stuff. So think of it that way. So there's not going to be a ton of interactions within the discussions. It's mostly going to be turning stuff in, posting your peer reviews, things like that, and getting feedback from your peers. Because in this class, it's real important to get that peer review and that peer feedback, and to give that peer feedback, because it's a valuable tool that we have in industry to be able to critique and critique kindly. There's people always want to know how to do things better, but sometimes how we say it can come across a way that's helpful or a way that's not helpful. I haven't had that happen in any of these classes. Everybody's um, had some good critiques. And remember, critique does not mean critical. So if I come back and say, something needs to be fixed, that's not being critical, that's critiquing the product. And we always want, what I always like to say to everybody that I work with and the folks who work for me are, you know, we can say all we want about what we're building, because we want it excellent by the time it gets to the customer. So we don't want them to come back and tell us these things that we're finding. So kind of think of it from that perspective. And with that said, this is the magic formula that I use. So let's say you've submitted an artifact in the passport. So first thing I do, is it a fit? Does the artifact match the spirit of the challenge? Check with the bingo sheet. What is the bingo sheet? Let me show you what that bingo sheet is. This bingo sheet is fantastic. We go to resources, and it's slowly coming up. Right here, course challenge alignment bingo sheet. We click that, it should download. Should do something other than wait. Well, what the bingo sheet is, it's just being slow right now. Okay, it's coming up. The bingo sheet is exactly that. It tells us, it gives us some hints. Not everything that you submit needs to be exactly what's on this sheet. Don't feel that you're limited. But what it does is it gives you some good ideas of what it should be. So it gives the super badge, sub badge, challenge, and then different assignments that you've already done. And remember, a lot of these badges or challenges can be met with some things that you've done on the job. And that is why there is the work verification form. So if you did something on the job and you want to put it in for one of the challenges, please do just add your work verification program. So that's step one. And the rest of the steps, peer review. Are the peer reviews thorough and state the artifact is a match for the challenge, meets rigor? So I'm going to look, you're going to get a peer review. Last term we required two. This one we are requiring one. So I'm going to look at the peer review, make sure it's thorough. And if they say yes, it does match, or if they see a problem in your review, you're going to say how you met that or didn't meet that because you don't think it's something worth meeting or things like that. So that's where the back and forth is going to be. So I'm going to look at the peer review and your reflection. Does reflection meet the standards defined in the rubric? The rubric is under resources. But this is where you will say, you'll have a part, okay, the person conducting my review stated X, it should be changed. You know, after review, I thought that would be a worthy admission to the paper, or I don't think it, whatever it is. But if you don't do it, state why. That's all. And then grammar for reflection. I take the easy road. I just copy and paste everything into Grammarly and look for grammar. Things if I'm going to reject it for that, I'm actually going to copy and paste the Grammarly piece uh, to you. I don't do the Grammarly so it'll change words and things like that. Just if it's hard grammatical errors. Nobody generally has a problem with that. Um, but if anyone does, every now and then something sneaks through on all of us, including myself. If anybody does, I copy and paste the changes that I made in Grammarly and say, hey, what do you think about this? So that's makes it kind of simple. And then the artifact, is it professional looking? Is it something that is worthy of display to others? Um, so I look at it, if, you know, would I want to see this outside of class? Then once again, the artifact, if it's a Word doc, I'm going to look at it in Grammarly as well. Now you might notice that sometimes if you did something in one of the classes and you submit it, maybe it's not going to be initially acceptable for multiple different reasons, because when we're grading for um, a lot of times when we're grading in a class, I'm going to be looking at content, and if the content is accurate for the class, then you know what, great job, well done, uh, and I'll point out some room for improvement or something like that. But now, as we put it in for an artifact, then it's going to be real nitpicky for grammar and everything else. So just make sure you're looking at that. And then the next one for the artifact, is it of sufficient depth and quality? So does it look like something that you want to display and something to be proud of, saying that it came from Purdue? Like I said, I haven't had many issues whatsoever. A lot of these right up front get kicked back, and it's for grammar or making subtle changes to it. So if you do get something kicked back, it's not the end of the world. And then if it was something that you did for work, is there a work verification form? Is it required? And if all those are met, bam, accept the artifact and moving forward. So I hope that is kind of a helpful overview on the process that I go through. I'm going to post this in the announcement as well. So you should see it underneath this video. And let me get back to the class. So passport guides, if anybody has any initial issues with passport or anything. So probably in week 2, I'm going to have a live session, because that'll give us all a chance to kind of get in, look around, see what we understand, see where we're confused, and we can get together and answer any questions and go over the process or anything else. So notice each week, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to weeks 15 and 16, we have everything lined up there. When you hit passport, it will open up in a new window, and your discussions are all right here. So let's take a look at those real quick. I know it's a long video. My apologies for that. Water cooler class introduction. Week 3, self-editing process. Week 4, samples. And then week 5, you're going to be submitting your challenge and materials and peer review. And the dates are all leveled out right there. So I hope that's helpful. I believe this term we're looking for 5, I believe. Let me double check that. Sometimes, like last term, we were looking for 9. I believe 5 is a magic number for this term, but don't quote me on that. I will. We're having a meeting on this Friday, so I'm going to get clarification for everything. If anybody changes, I will post another announcement. So I look forward to working with you on this and taking a look at all the fantastic work that you've been doing in this class and at work. So have a great beginning of the class, and I'm looking forward to it.